So guys, here I am today with the Felipe Nasr Career mode here on F1 2015, and some of you might be a little bit confused. It's round 17, yet it's part 16 of the series. Basically, the US Grand Prix for this career mode unfortunately fell victim to my hard drive. Basically, I've been having a few recording issues recently, which explains the lack of uploads and the lack of this series, really. And basically, yeah, I just can't show you guys that gameplay, that race, unfortunately, because the footage is just far too laggy, and obviously it would just be unbearable to watch, really, and it was for me when looking back at the footage. But obviously, as seen by the championship signs, we still remain in 5th, 17 points ahead of Valtteri Bottas, increasing that gap by 1 point since you guys were last with this series. Basically, last time out in USA, it was a pretty poor race from ourselves. We finished in 9th in the end after a few incidents with the AI, luckily finishing ahead of Valtteri by 1 position. We had a pretty insane battle with him towards the end of that Grand Prix. Just disappointing that I can't show you guys that, but it was, a brilliant battle, and let's hope for more with him today in Mexico. Obviously, there's potential for that on the long back straight. And realistically, I think if we finish ahead of Valtteri Bottas this weekend, I think that more or less secures 5th place for us in the Drivers' Championship. So I think going to the final 2 rounds, guys, there won't be really much battles going on for ourselves in the Championship, because we've also pretty much secured 4th as well with Sauber in the Constructors' Championship. Obviously, Red Bull are nearest challengers. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get into the qualifying report. As has been the case many times this season, there are contrasting fortunes in the Toro Rosso garage. Carlos Sainz Jr. broke into the top 10 to steal 9th, teammate Verstappen struggled to 18th however. The same can be said about Red Bull. Russian Danny Kvyat had another disappointing session while Ricciardo secured a top 5 grid position. Force were left frustrated as both drivers struggled to get their tyres up to temperature, therefore qualifying 12th and 16th respectively. McLaren had one of the quickest cars in Sector 2, but their straight line deficit in Sector 1 resulted in Button and Alonso qualifying 13th and 15th. Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel experienced a lot of traffic and was unable to put in a clean lap, meaning the German could only manage P14 with his teammate Kimi Raikkonen stealing pole position. Sauber fared a lot better with both drivers. Felipe Nasr sealed 3rd position and a 2nd row start for tomorrow's race, while Ericsson agonisingly missed out on the top 10 by a few hundredths. Lotus had their best qualifying session of the season as both drivers broke into the top 10. Felipe Nasr secured 2nd behind Raikkonen, with teammate Bottas in 7th, making for an interesting run down to turn 1. Surprisingly, both Mercedes cars were unable to get up to speed, resulting in Rosberg and Hamilton having to settle for 4th and 6th respectively. An overview of the top 10. Both Lotus and Sainz were determined to secure points after impressive qualifying sessions. Valtteri Bottas was hoping for a good launch, as were Hamilton and Ricciardo due to the long run down to turn 1. Nico Rosberg would share row 2 with Brazilian Felipe Nasr, who was aiming for his 3rd podium of the season, but it would be Felipe Nasr and Kimi Raikkonen occupying the front row of the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. So it was a very surprising, unusual top 3 for today's Mexican Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen sealing pole position, obviously Felipe Nasr in 2nd, our compatriot, and obviously ourselves in 3rd position, driving as Felipe Nasr, obviously. So it was a pretty poor session in the end for both of the Mercedes guys. Rosberg qualifying behind us in 4th position, Hamilton qualifying a couple of positions further back. But the strategy today, guys, I think it will be varying from the AI. I think we'll be doing a 3-stop strategy. We're going to try and see how that goes. It's a 36-lap race, guys. And obviously there are a lot of tight, twisty corners, especially in Sector 2, so we're going to have to really look after the tyres there. But as you can see here, a very strange strategy. They want me to go on the options for the entire race, but obviously you know it, guys, in Formula 1 in 2015, you have to use at least the prime tyres once in the Grand Prix, so obviously that strategy there is not correct at all. So I think we'll still be doing maybe those 3 stops that the game has stated there, but maybe 1 extra stint at the end of the Grand Prix, just so we comply with the regulations. But nonetheless, we have 5 lights now, and away we go here for the Mexican Grand Prix, actually getting off to a pretty decent launch for the first time in this career. But Rosberg gets off to an absolutely storming start, as is Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton, the current championship leader. As you can see, Rosberg's going to the outside, Mass to the inside, Raikkonen's going very slowly on the straight for some reason, but there's Valtteri Bottas, our championship rival, 4 abreast into turn 1, between the 2 Williams, the Ferrari, and also the Mercedes Nico Rosberg. Rosberg has come out on top. We're going back around the outside of Raikkonen and the 2 Williams cars, so great composure from us there, not giving up. But now Rosberg is currently using ourselves in 2nd, and Kimi Raikkonen, in fact, on our inside, but I think he's going to think better of it. But what a crazy start that was, guys. Valtteri Bottas was momentarily in the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix, just pretty much indicating how overpowered the slipstream is around this track. So we're going to have to really, take those opportunities when we get them on the straight to overtake cars. Obviously, at the moment, Nico Rosberg's absolutely pulling away. He already pulled out about a 1.5 second lead, maybe 2 seconds, but currently we have Kimi Raikkonen behind us, who might look to make a move on this back straight, and then behind him, there is the Williams of Felipe Nasr holding up another separate train. However, we go out a little bit wide here off the track, and now Kimi Raikkonen will be all over us on the inside. Rosberg obviously sets the fastest lap, but now on to lap 2 we go now. A 1 minute 26.9 is what we set. Raikkonen is already in our slipstream. He might duck to the inside very soon. I think we're going to stay to the outside line, make him go to the inside, and let's see if he makes a mistake. In fact, Valtteri Bottas there, getting double slipstream for both me and Raikkonen, and he's now going round the outside of the pair of us. Can Bottas pull it off? Raikkonen being forced onto the inside, but we do maintain second position, luckily, guys. But I think that is going to be a theme of this race. Constant overtaking and constant slipstream moves going on that back straight. As you can see, still so much battling going on ahead, and Raikkonen is coming back. He's having none of it, guys. He wants to get this second position and try and catch up with Nico Rosberg. Realistically, guys, Raikkonen has a lot better pace than ourselves, but we do just about defend up the inside, and thankfully Raikkonen is still behind us. But as all this is happening, guys, Rosberg is further increasing his lead, so pretty much Rosberg, unless he does something catastrophically wrong at the end of this race, is pretty much confirmed to be the winner of this Grand Prix. But obviously, guys, there are still 34 laps in which anything can happen, so just stick around until the end of the video. Trust me, guys, it is a pretty tense ending here in today's Mexican Grand Prix. But currently at the end of lap 2, nearly the beginning of lap 3, we have slowly edged away from Kimi Raikkonen, Felipe Nasr, and also Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. But guys, the main issue was we were getting an absolutely shocking exit off the final corner because our traction was just terrible. I don't know why, mainly the setup. But now Raikkonen is on our outside here. We're having to go defensive, but in fact Raikkonen in the process is allowing his compatriot Valtteri Bottas to have a go at him, and he actually swerves across Kimi there, almost causing a collision. But now Bottas is through, and Lewis Hamilton makes contact with Kimi Raikkonen. The Ferrari is round, and that's put Kimi Raikkonen out of contention for this battle for now. And now we have Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton all over us. Will any of them go for a move now into the beginning of Sector 2, into this really tight, twisty section now? Very, very tight, quite reminiscent of the street circuit, in fact. But that collision there with Kimi Raikkonen was actually very lucky. He didn't collide before with Valtteri Bottas. Bottas was trying to go to the outside on the straight, but couldn't quite do it in the end, so he had to back off and almost hit Raikkonen in the process, guys. But now we get a really poor exit of the exit of that corner, and now Bottas is on our inside. Can we defend it around the outside? Having to go out wide just to give Bottas that little bit of room. We've allowed Bottas and Hamilton back through, but can we regain the position here at the expense of the Williams and also the Mercedes driver? Can we do it here around the outside of Bottas? What a move! Brilliant, brilliant defensive driving, great composure, and a fantastic overtake there on Williams driver. Now Nico Hulkenberg is involved in this battle. He's going up the inside of Lewis Hamilton and also Valtteri Bottas. This battle for second place, guys, has now got a new contender. Nico Hulkenberg is involved in all of it. What an incredible battle this has been so far, guys. Great entertainment for you, obviously, but this is currently making my task incredibly tricky. Now Bottas is all over us. Our championship rival, obviously absolutely crucial for him that he finished ahead of us today in the Grand Prix. Now Bottas might just have the position sealed unless we can do anything about it. Try and regain it with an undercutting switchback manoeuvre out of the exit turn 1. In fact, almost moving across on Nico Hulkenberg, gets insane straight line speed towards the end of that straight whilst we were suffering with drag and all sorts. But now we have regained the position at the expense of Valtteri Bottas, and he might try and have another go here, heading now down into this next corner. Can he do it? Not quite, and hopefully we should have some calm now before that all happens. But now looking on board with Kimi Raikkonen here, we're going to see what happened to him on the previous lap where he got hit by Lewis Hamilton. Seems like he sort of got perhaps not even spatially aware. Maybe he sort of rejoined the track a little bit unsafely, but you could also argue that Lewis Hamilton was a little bit unsafe as well with the way he sort of cut across Raikkonen. And that was the near collision that Bottas had with Kimi Raikkonen, and therefore he moved on to second. And yeah, I think he expected Raikkonen to back up a little bit more. I don't think Hamilton was necessarily expecting that, so I would say more Hamilton's fault than Raikkonen's fault. But anyway, guys, we have just completely cocked up that corner, heading now down to Sector 3, to the stadium section, and we have lost 3 positions to Lewis Hamilton, Nico Hulkenberg and Valtteri Bottas. A job well done if I say so myself. But now on to the next lap. I believe it is lap 5 now out of 36, and we have Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari all over us, along with Sergio Perez just behind him. But we've got to try and catch up with guys like Hamilton, Hulkenberg and Bottas before they become out of reach, really. And we've got to make the most of this DRS that we'll probably get on the pit straight heading down into turn 1. But now Vettel is on our outside, but not quite. He's unable to make the move, guys. We've got to be patient here, wait for our opportunity, and hopefully swiftly make our way past Hamilton and Hulkenberg, who are currently battling. So I think that pretty much confirms we will get DRS on this next straight. Will it be able to happen? Hamilton and Hulkenberg still battling. Hamilton going up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg for the final corner. In fact, we take that opportunity as well. Hulkenberg getting distracted there, obviously, by Hamilton. And now we'll have a great run on Nico Hulkenberg, who may also have DRS on Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton could be absolutely swamped here by myself, Hulkenberg, and also Sebastian Sebastian Vettel. We're going 3 abreast here with the Mercedes driver. We've actually gotten ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And what will Vettel do? He goes to the outside, but scrums across back to the inside line. We got the inside of Nico Hülkenberg here. And I think we have gained 2 positions on one straight. They're taking full advantage of the opportunity. But in fact, we run a little bit wide out of the exit. Vettel has come out of absolutely nowhere. And Vettel was getting 3 positions in all of that. What an oversight of Sebastian Vettel. We will have a look at his POV in a second. But my goodness me, what a crazy turn of events that was. Sebastian Vettel all the way from 5th up into 2nd place. Let's see what happens here. Vettel, considering going to the outside line as Hamilton moves more towards the inside, but then decides he thinks better of it, goes to the inside line, out, sort of breaks the normal point. Hülkenberg drifts out wide. Hamilton also gets boxed in with Nico Hülkenberg as Vettel takes the inside line. We run wide after locking up, and Vettel all the way up into P2. A brilliant overtake from him now, guys. On lap 6 now, we are in the pit lane for our first scheduled stop of the day, along with Lewis Hamilton and also Nico Hülkenberg, I believe. So we've got to see now if we can try and jump Hamilton and remain ahead of him for now. He's got to wait and see whether that happens or not. We are now in our pit box. Can the Sauber team pull off an absolute miracle here? There is Lewis Hamilton. Unfortunately, he has jumped us, guys. A real shame there, but I don't think it will really matter anyway because I have a lot of traffic to conquer. Obviously, we are pitting quite early now, guys. Lap 6 for another set of option tyres. Now we can see Daniel Ricciardo, in fact. I believe Ricciardo, guys, actually pitted in a few laps before. So Ricciardo going for a very early pit stop. And he's actually managed to jump myself and also Lewis Hamilton, which is very strange to say the least. So Ricciardo has made huge gains here, but obviously he'll be on older tyres at the moment, so he should be very easy meat once we catch up to the back of him. And obviously on the straight as well with the Renault engine, we should be easily able to overtake him. So we move up the inside of Will Stevens, obviously who is yet to pit in his Mana Marussia. So yeah, we've just got to wait and see what happens now. As you can see now on lap 8, Lewis Hamilton sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, 1 minute 20.6. Interestingly, that was set whilst overtaking Daniel Ricciardo, so that really just shows what advantage the new tyres can give you. And out of the pit lane there, that is the Ferrari Sebastian Vettel who's been able to further gain on us here. But can we perhaps overtake him with the slipstream and also the DRS? Yes, we are. Up the inside of turn 1. Have we pulled it off? Yes, we have, as Vettel runs out a little bit wide. So that is absolutely crucial there, guys. But we've been able to essentially undercut Sebastian Vettel, even though he exited the pits before we managed to overtake him on track. But now we have Daniel Ricciardo ahead of us to conquer, who obviously is doing a different strategy compared to us there. I believe Ricciardo will be doing a 1 extra stop. I think he'll be doing a 4-stop strategy, while we'll be doing a 3-stop strategy, me, Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. And surprisingly, after Lewis Hamilton set the fast lap on the lap Vettel pitted in, he hasn't really been able to pull away from us too much due to the traffic ahead of him. And Hamilton's really sort of just trying to save his tyres at the moment. He's not really going for it quite yet, as we make a move up the inside of Ricciardo, locking up in the process. But nonetheless, we are now up 1 further position into P4. However, we do run a little bit wide on the exit. Ricciardo is still on our inside. And as you can see, we make contact with the inside of Ricciardo. His front tyres clip our rear ones, and Ricciardo has gone for a spin there and has lost a good few seconds from that. We need to have a look at a replay. Was this our fault here, guys? Could I have done more about that? And the answer to that question is yes. Again, spatial awareness is the real problem with me. But again, Ricciardo, realistically, shouldn't have gone for a move there. It's really just a 2 of a tight gap, really. But currently getting a huge amount of oversteer. As mentioned before, guys, our car twitching about all over the place out of the exit of the final corner, and that's really preventing our run. We were in fact lining up a move on Lewis Hamilton, but now we're also going to be vulnerable to Sebastian Vettel, unfortunately. So Vettel's going to go up our inside here. We're going to have to do something special if we're going to defend from the Ferrari here. Around the outside, can we defend it? Going to force Vettel on the inside here. We're going to slightly make contact there. Vettel forcing us out wide, just about staying on the track, but unfortunately Vettel has remained ahead and he has the DRS. So unfortunately Vettel is now in P4. We're down into P5. Hamilton, I believe, is in P3. Bottas in P2, and Nico Rosberg still in first position now, guys. Just a lap later, guys, we come into the pits on lap 13 for our second scheduled stop of the day. We've really begun to lose time to Sebastian Vettel and also Valtteri Bottas, and Lewis Hamilton in fact pitted in on the last lap, so we've really got to do something about that and try and do our best to overcut him. But it's just not going to happen, guys, because at the end of that stint we really did struggle with time. But what a pit stop, I gotta say. 2 seconds dead. I honestly think that's the fastest I've actually seen on F1 2015, which is, you know, pretty impressive to say the least. But now Lewis Hamilton being held up by a teammate Marcus Ericsson, thankfully. But I think we have slowly gained on Lewis Hamilton, so that's, you know, positive for us come the end of this Grand Prix. But I think there's still more traffic, as you can see, ahead for the Mercedes Lewis Hamilton conquer. We now have our teammate Marcus Ericsson, who will probably try and overtake through the tight, twisty section of Sector 2. These really tight, twisty corners here, guys, really difficult to overtake. Not really a huge overtaking spot around this track. We're going to go around the outside of Ericsson here. Going to try and pull it off here on the inside line. Can we pull it off here on Ericsson? Yes, we have. What a move. Very reminiscent, in fact, to the move on Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton earlier on the Grand Prix. But speaking of Lewis Hamilton, He's 3 abreast of 2 cars ahead. We've got to see how that goes a little bit later on. But up the inside of Bot Ericsson and back around the outside of him into P8 for now, which I believe is currently effective P5. So now we have the DRS on Lewis Hamilton, who's currently being held up by Max Verstappen and Daniel Kvyat. Really should be easy meet for the Mercedes driver on the straight. But in fact, we're really gaining quite heavily here, in fact. 3 abreast in front, and now breaking down into turn 1. I think we're too far back to make a move on Kvyat or Max Verstappen. They're battling into turns 2 and also turns 3 off the X. We're going to try and get a beautiful X here, a beautiful run. We're going to try and move to the inside line, which will probably be the outside line for the next corner. Kvyat's in fact being boxed in here, and me and Verstappen remain ahead, and we're going to go round the outside of Max Verstappen, pull off the move, and we are now up into P6, I believe. Yes, indeed, we are in P6. So now what we've got to do is, on these fresh tries, try and catch up with Lewis Hamilton the best we can. There is still a bit of traffic for him to conquer in front, whether it's back markers or just other cars that are yet to pit for a second time. But now, guys, on lap 22, not really much happened after that. Lewis Hamilton further pulled away from us. Sebastian Vettel rejoined just ahead, and we really just couldn't catch him up. We didn't have the pace, guys, in that last stint. Apart from the start, really not a lot happened. It was quite an uneventful stint, guys. So essentially, this is our final stint on the option tyres, and we're really having to move over to a 4-stop strategy from a 3-stop due to really excessive tyre wear on our car. But interestingly, guys, that is Nico Rosberg into the pit lane, who literally pitted a couple of laps before. So that's really interesting. He's doing a 5th stop very early on. Now Sebastian Vettel is also going to the pit lane as well. So this is really odd here, guys. The AI seems to be doing an excessive amount of pit stops for no reason whatsoever. I have no idea what's going on here. We're currently leading the Grand Prix. Felipe Nasr also pitted in along with Sebastian Vettel. I think we're pitting in on this lap. We stayed out 1 extra lap just to see if we could overcut him, because obviously we'd only been on these tyres for a good 7 laps. We've just got to see what happens from this point on. Massa is currently in 2nd, Hamilton in 3rd. But guys, I never even thought of this. We could be battling for the win of the Mexican Grand Prix, the first, our first win of the season, the first win of the series. Could it happen today, guys? We've got to see where Felipe Nasr rejoins. There's Rosberg, who has just rejoined into the lead, but surely not. Hang on. That is Felipe Nasr, who's currently leading the Grand Prix. We're in 2nd somehow. I just don't know how this is escalated, guys. We'll have a look at the race director in a second. But Nico Rosberg surely is close to being lapped here. I have no idea what has happened to guys like Nico Rosberg, and also Vettel as well, and also Lewis Hamilton. What on earth has happened to these guys? As you can see, they have done an excessive amount of pit stops. Bottas and Vettel doing a total of 5. Hamilton also 5 as well. I think he's currently in the pits at the moment. All we've got to do, guys, is catch up with Felipe Nasr, and we could potentially seal our first win in this series. So guys, we are now on the final lap. We have finally caught up with Felipe Nasr. We are less than a second behind him now, entering Sector 2, the final lap. This could be our first win of this series, to take it off our compatriot Felipe Nasr. What a crazy race this has turned into from start to finish. Absolutely incredible. If we can pick up the win today, this would just be incredible. Can we do it here, guys? Now into the stadium section for one final time. Can we pull it off here? Overtake Felipe Nasr up the inside. Can we go for it? Yes, we have. Nasr making slight contact with him there. We're going to pull off an undercut, a switchback maneuver here. Can we pull it off up the inside of the final corner? Yes, we have. We've locked up in the process. We've made an aggressive but clean move up the inside of Felipe Nasr, and we have won the Mexican Grand Prix. Get in there. What a turn of events, guys. A roller coaster of emotions. I thought I was completely out of any contention for the podium pretty much in those after the first stint, and we have somehow won the Mexican Grand Prix. I am absolutely gobsmacked here. I'm speechless. What on earth just happened? But very strangely, look at that. The game has seemingly messed up here, and it's putting Felipe Nasr on the top step of the podium, when obviously that should not be the case. Very, very strange there, guys. Just gotta have a look at the results in a second, because I never had a penalty. I never had any sort of penalties, so I don't know why this could be. Very, very odd there, guys. Just makes this race even crazier. Let's just see what happens in a second, guys. But there is Felipe Nasr, ourselves, and also Kimi Räikkönen. A very good comeback drive from him after spinning out earlier on to finish in 3rd place. But obviously, we won this Grand Prix. What on earth is going on? But really strangely, the race results is showing us as finishing 1.3 seconds behind Felipe Nasr, guys. That is really, really odd. I've never seen that before. I had no penalty or anything, so I don't know why that could be, and it's not even showing as a penalty either. That is a real cock-up there from the game. I don't know, Co-Masters, like, what is going on here? Obviously, I'll class as our win because it technically was. And you saw, guys, I crossed the line in first position. It just happened. I don't know what's going on, but nonetheless, as a result of that, Felipe Nasr was actually moved ahead of Valtteri Bottas, which really shouldn't have happened. He obviously didn't steal that win, that was ourselves, but a really crazy race, guys. If you have enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like on the video, and obviously leave a comment down below regarding your thoughts on today's race. What a crazy Grand Prix this was, guys, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you for some more videos very soon. Goodbye.